Washington for me. I came to Washington for all of you. That I can tell you.
Well, that was what the president wanted you to believe was his critique of the status quo. In actuality, it was his game plan, his vision for what he has brought to Washington, because by almost any conceivable standard, the Trump administration is the most corrupt administration of recent memory. A new 4-part docuseries called American Swamp with MSNBC's own Katie Tur, Jacob Soboroff, looks not only at the many ways in which the president and his aides are lining their own pockets, but more broadly how money, particularly so-called dark money, is having a perverse effect on our elections across the country.
They sometimes are spending tens of millions of dollars, but they have no bricks and mortar. They operate out of a P.O. box. Their money spikes in election years and then drops off during non-election years. These are the trademark qualities of a political committee.
What's the difference between what you're describing and money laundering?
Not a whole heck of a lot.
Joining me now, the host of this new docuseries, MSNBC's Jacob Soboroff and Katie Tur. It's great to have you here, Katie.
It's wonderful to be back.
Congratulations on your child. So give me the kind of conceit of the show. Like, what were you trying to get to the bottom of? What was the story you're trying to tell?
We want to get to the bottom of the swamp. Donald Trump campaigned on draining the swamp, but the swamp existed long before Donald Trump. And we wanted to understand how it came to be and whether or not it actually can be drained. So the first episode here is about dark money and the corrupting influence of money in our politics. And what we do is we take a look at exactly what dark money is, and then we get out of Washington. And we go to Arizona, we go to Montana, we see a real life example of how dark money is just proliferating, but also, I want to use a bad word and I can't use it. I've got mom brain.
Screwing
the people of Arizona.
Screwing the people of Arizona.
Let me give you this example.
Because they can't use solar power.
So in Arizona, it's the sunniest state in the union. Right. I walk outside for 5 minutes, I get a sunburn in Arizona. A tiny fraction, minuscule, of Arizonans have solar power on their homes, and that is because of how much dark money has flooded the system there. The power that the public utility has put forward is natural gas. Right. And you have to actually pay to have solar power on your house. Basically pay a tax in order to put solar power on the top of your house, a solar tax to put solar power on the top of your house in the sunniest state in the union. And it's absurd, but all you have to do is look at where the money came from, and it comes from the Koch brothers, Arizona Public Utility, which is the big utility company there. Right. And it's basically a no-brainer.
You know, the dark money aspect of this is fascinating because everyone, I think, remembers Citizens United, but that did two things, right? So the first thing it does, it opens up unlimited contributions that are corporate, right? Yeah. But then very quickly people realize that corporations are a very malleable entity that you create all kinds of difference with. And what it opened up was not just unlimited corporations, but unlimited anonymous corporate
So it's not just
donations.
super PACs. And you know all the donors to a super PAC.
Right.
It's 501c4s. And you don't know the donors to a 501c4. So what you have is this one group with anonymous donors who don't have to put their names on anything, in mass, or together giving to a super PAC. So although you know who's giving to a super PAC, you don't know who's behind this group.
It's some P.O. box that's like Arizonans for a Better Future, and someone's writing some checks.
Some sort of innocuous name, right. Americans for a Better America. Right. And you don't know who they are. And so what they're doing in Montana, and this is the light at the end of the tunnel, is that they have an act, a Disclose Act, that says 90 days before an election, I don't care who you are or what you're doing or what you're given.
You got to say where the money's coming from.
You have to give your name.
I had no idea I had no idea that this existed. If you go to Montana, it's not only that. They have a part-time state legislature where you have a boilermaker and a firefighter and a teacher that are sitting in the state house. $180 is the maximum per person that you can give to a candidate. They don't have just obscene amounts of money that are pouring into the system. And so when you look at what's going on in Montana, the Supreme Court, by the way, just upheld the system that they have there. It makes you think, why aren't we doing this on a national level?
But we can do it on a national level. That is something that other states can adopt. It's possible. The thing about this series is that we're taking really weedy subjects and we're making them interesting. We're making them entertaining.